Yeah, thank you. I beg to be given a chance to pursue my train of thought. When I learned that I was supposed to discuss this issue of peace, social involvement, on a forum that's talking about ICT, and you have to be presented in the context of ICT, not in singularity. So in my thinking, I try to think about issues about how to give it that ICT is clothing that makes it really so much belong to this forum. So I will get you for a question later on, but allow me to share my thoughts that I had to run through my mind. And interestingly, when I was trying to run my thoughts, as I was evolving my ideas, a lot of things kept on coming up here and there. Each of the discussant was talking about something, talking about peace and ICT. Now, let me just be brief about issues which I thought about how ICT, how peace, we as Indo-Afro meeting can see how ICT can be used to achieve peace. In the common civil world, in our society, that there were both peacekeeping agents with the police forces, the prisons, you have them with the defense. I would believe that first and foremost, we should see how best can we get IT applied in these areas. For example, an example came here. Someone talked about an organization that is chaired by Clinton, that every other time is giving awards for excellence. And what amazed me was the issue of violence. Violence against women. There are many things that can come up that we can twin together and see how to use ICT. That is just an example. You can have apps. So you find that together we know that we are going to common problem. It's true that both in Africa and even in Asia, world over, but maybe we are more pronounced to sometimes have violence against mothers and sisters of ours. So IT can be an example of how it can be handled. And that's of course what I call it can be handled in two ways. But basically you're talking about community policing. And even the police forces themselves also can have that IT go in, track down activities. Prisons, I've got a colleague from prison who is here. You can have ICT be able to track down. Right now, we are trying to develop a national database. But I can tell that many of these countries, I don't think India has got a clear record of the hardcore guys, the troublesome people. You might be having them. So ICT can create peace. The moment you do it, no matter, the world is like 90% peaceful. But it's one or two people are causing problems. So if you can be able to have IT track down those cases and keep them close watch, you find ICT will help to achieve peace. We had I'm giving a case that came up while I was listening. We had Mr. Donkara here, a fellow colleague from Uganda, talked about this thing that developing the e-case system. We had some person we discussed. Those are areas whereby if you find the legal system and the process is well supported by ICT, you find that you have good peace in society coming up. Then briefly to the issue of sustainable development. Sustainable development, my thinking was talk of US, which is on high end, talk about Uganda, which is third world, talk about India, maybe put it out of that world, maybe not more developing world. There's one common factor all of them have, human resource. The only way we can try to come up and be able to come up and do something successful is to develop a human resource. So as long as the ways in which we can mutually agree, India has done so well. You're talking here about the system that's running our revenue system. It is the marvelous system. People don't even go anywhere. If you want to go to contact the defection number, you go online and get yourself. And right now it has been integrated with even other systems, like you find it, new employees in government who have their salaries paid. There's interconnection already happening. So you find there are many areas, which I'm talking about e-governance, in which you find that if you go into that linkage of e-governance, one, you may find we're spending less on licenses. We may still be paying money, but you imagine how much money we're giving Microsoft to build something. In a way, if you are spending less in your home, chances are very high that you will save something for development. So if you're going to save a lot of these issues of licensing, for example, then chances are that it will have taken us a step further in what? In development. Then the other thing I thought about is if you got into twinning, India has moved ahead in terms of development. Professor, my boss, Professor Chan spoke something about IT in Uganda and the progress coming up. True, I mean, into IT, what he spoke is a reality. But one thing you must realize is that the IT is talking about is not so much applicable in government. In government, many times we've got people who, they're also important, who run the policy and run the management of services, they're different. But then the other group we're talking about, you can develop on this forum, and the developers, that is passion, the young people with passion. You can have a forum that develops with passion around and you find what a collection of society that is building passion of a certain age group. And interesting, I think I talk about passion. These people are talking about, Professor, you cannot carry on that day forever. No matter in their 20s, go to 30, and then they phase out into policy and management. If we had a situation whereby in Uganda and Africa over, we are developing those people collectively, then we can have a way of tapping off or collectively tap off the global economy. I spoke about because IT per se skills without seeing how to tap off its global economy. We find a way to can tap off its global economy, and then maybe companies that have got are built to work over time zones, you know, even in different time zones from us, you're producing work in different time zones. That kind of collaboration. And then we have got common society issues. For example, not everybody can have a computer in Africa. Not everybody can have a computer in Asia, India. There is a platform which ICT is overlooking. We can know a unique problem of the kind of economy we have, and develop ICTs that run these apps you have. Even simple mobile solutions. There are many issues. You can use it for, like I spoke about, community policing, market access, identification, all those issues. You find those solutions collectively help our common people, and they emancipate them. That's what I would say for now, but then I could take a question. Thank you.
Yeah, because, sorry to interrupt. You see, when we do talk about peace, we normally refer to a situation where there's a total absence of violence. That's not the peace. Peace, I feel that peace is all about the equitable distribution of national resources, opportunities among the people of all classes and categories. If we are not able to ensure that, then we cannot have the peace which can last. Now we will have to see what kind of role ICT can play in ensuring that the people have access to national resources, opportunities, and facilities as well. Because for want of the proper application of ICT, I mean we can use it as a tool. Now it depends upon us. Because the application of a particular tool varies from the dynamics of a country from that of another country. What may be true in the context of India may not be the correct in the context of African nation. So Mr. Gupta, I will come back to you. So what would you like to comment on the role of ICT as a tool to ensure peace, which is not only about the absence of violence, but which also guarantees the equitable distribution of opportunities, challenges, and facilities among all in general, and of course among those who are on the margins, which is a major challenge before India, and I think that's also a major challenge before most of the African nations, if I'm correct.
It's a great question. His question is very simple. True peace is not the absence of violence alone. Peace entails the equal distribution of resources among the people. Now let's understand why it is not happening. It is man's greed. It is man's greed. And why are we greedy? Why are we greedy? Corruption is a major issue eating into the vitals of the nation, not only here but almost everywhere. Why are we corrupt? Why are we greedy? It's a fundamental question that has to be answered and addressed. That is primarily because we are perhaps lost in the quagmire. We do not know the prime objective of life itself. Do we realize that each one of us who has come to this planet has to go one way? Do we ever realize that we have got a golden opportunity to leave the legacy behind, and therefore I would say we have to redefine the very purpose and objective of life. That is one. Number two, how does ICT play a role? With the help of ICT, you have objectivity. Say for example, now we have direct transfer of subsidies to the people in India. Because of that, corruption has been checked to a great extent. Technology does not discriminate. It's very, very objective. So that is how we have to make optimal use of ICT, use of technology. The only challenge is the mammoth population that India has. The development that you see in a couple of cities and towns is not the real face of India, or is not the real face of any country for the purpose. If you want to see whether the real development reaching out to the needy or not, you have got to go 100 kilometers inside. Only then will you realize whether the benefits are reaching the needy or not. Because unless and until we are able to bring the marginalized class into the mainstream, there cannot be peace for humanity. There cannot be true growth for humankind, my friend. That's all I have to say.
Supplementary? Yeah, globally, I would agree when you say that peace may not be exactly the absence of war. Peace, but the factors that may cause peace to evade us, there are a number of them. Inequality is one of them, and I could say inequality, and even ignorance, because sometimes I always personally, I'm a Christian, but I know that all these religions, like somebody said, Muslim, Christian, they talk about the same thing, love your neighbors, love yourself. Such ignorance in such ways sometimes causes conflict. So IT can be able to be a tool. ICT is talking about radio stations, phones, as a tool to really, as much as possible, enlighten the people and tell them, no, you are the same people, you talk about the same thing. Then what was I saying about and a thought crossed my mind. Okay. Basically, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, now in one of the discussion I heard that, there was discussion about the DBT, direct benefit scheme in the country, we have been talking about, we'll take another 5 minutes. So now, after 70 years of independence, in our country, we realized that, there is a mechanism through which we can ensure that the benefits, that the cash which we were giving to the, beneficiaries manually, the funds can be, directly transferred into their accounts. Now, in 1984, there was a Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister of this country, our country, Rajeev Gandhi. He had given a slogan that let us take science to the villages of the country.
Yes.
So in Hindi there was a slogan, Vigyan Gaon ki or, science towards the village. That was the slogan. Now, my question, sometimes it surprises me like anything, that the DBT which we have been able to implement in 2017, we could have implemented this scheme in 1990 itself. Because even at that point of time, India did have all the facilities, all the paraphernalia, and all the wherewithal. The only thing that was the missing was the lack of political will, political power to decide. I think that's the major problem which most of the poor progressing countries are facing today, including India, and I think including most of the African nations as well. Would you like to say something?
Yes, I think you're right about that one, because in a way, if you look at it, many of these economies, they are good with governance systems, and they're subject to manipulation one or another. Sometimes they're helpless, external manipulations. And I don't know really how we shall evolve strong governance systems internally. So I would really say it's really a consequence. What can I say about IT trying to address the governance issues? I don't know, this is really a political with governance issues, but I agree very much with you that it's a fondness of countries within category which we belong to, and many times it causes peace to elude us.
My concluding thought would be, time has come for us to understand relationship and business are diametrically opposed. Let the Western countries not look towards the African countries as their clients. It is a great opportunity to transform. It's a great opportunity to transform those who have been denied and deprived of the integral part of nature. Unless and until there is a paradigm shift in our approach, that it is a great opportunity for us to serve them, to transform them, to metamorphose the society. And that could be your contribution towards sustainable development, towards making humankind better and more sustainable. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much.